If your hair feels really dry, no matter how many bond repair products you throw at it, the issue probably isn't what you're using. In fact, that product might be really great. It's just that it's not actually what your hair needs. Dry hair can be, well, a bit sneaky. It might be easy to tell that it's dry, but not actually what's causing it. And that is definitely where I got caught out. So in this video, I want to share with you 5 reasons your hair might feel dry, how to work out which one you're dealing with, and of course, what to do about it. Reason number 1, you actually have dry hair. Don't call me basic just yet, hear me out. I think dryness is often talked about as a symptom of something else. And don't get me wrong, it absolutely could be a symptom, and we're going to get to that. But I also think that dryness can be a hair characteristic. The same way that oily hair is often talked about as a characteristic. You know, oh, I just have really oily hair, it's super greasy, I have to wash it quite frequently. I think the same can be true for dry hair. I think your hair can be healthy, but also dry. So how do you work out if you have naturally dry hair rather than as a symptom of something else? I think for me, one of the biggest signs was how much longer I can go between washes before my hair gets greasy. In my 20s, that was probably a couple of days at most. But at 44, I reckon I could go 5 days before I'd get to that same point. So have you noticed that your hair takes longer to get oily? Do you find that the ends of your hair get dry way before you notice greasy roots? Also, if you do have natural waves, it is harder for that oil to travel all the way down from root to tip. And if your hair tangles really easily, feels rough to the touch, but you don't have any signs of damage, which we're going to get to next, then I would say it's more likely that you do have dry hair as a characteristic rather than as a symptom. Solutions. I would start with your shampoo. I think this makes such a big difference to how your hair feels. I always look for something that is very gentle and hydrating and won't make my hair feel rough or tangled. But I still want it to do a really good thorough cleansing job for the sake of my scalp health. A couple of my favourite shampoos would be Pureology's Hydrate. This has a creamy texture, it lathers up beautifully, delivers a really good cleanse, but is very gentle. A more budget-friendly alternative to that would be OGX Pro Vitamin B3 shampoo. It has a very similar texture and won't strip my hair. I just don't find it quite as hydrating as Pureology's. And then one final recommendation. This is very much a early impressions, but I have started using a shampoo from And Honey, and it's called Melty Moisture Repair Shampoo. It has a clear, runny texture, it lathers up beautifully, and it just leaves my scalp feeling super cleansed, but my hair incredibly soft. I used it today and honestly, I'm really blown away by it. And I wanted to mention it because I have been so impressed. And also it sits between those 2 price points of Pureology and OGX. My next tip would be to use masks in replacement of conditioners, because this is something that I do all the time and I find it is really helpful. So instead of your typical conditioner, I would take into the shower a more intensive, moisturising, hydrating and nourishing mask. I'll then just apply it after shampoo in replacement of a conditioner, all over but focusing on mid-lengths and ends, clip my hair up for a couple of minutes as I wash and then fully rinse. And I just find that because they are designed to be that little bit more intensive and hydrating, it gives my hair that nourishment that it needs without making it feel weighed down or lifeless. A couple of favourites for this are Tsubaki's Repair Mask. That's very rich and creamy and just makes my hair feel beautifully soft. Or Pantene's Molecular Repair Mask. And although both of them are called repair masks, I actually find they're really nourishing and hydrating. And then my final tip, if you do have dry hair as a characteristic, is locking in moisture. A combination of aging, hormones, and my natural loose wave pattern means that my hair is not super efficient at holding on to moisture. But there are some really simple things that you can do that help. So first up, I never skip leave-in conditioner, and I do tend to apply this to soaking wet hair. Then, to help seal that hydration into the hair, I will apply a couple of drops of just a lightweight oil, smooth and glaze it over the top to help smooth those cuticles, which will keep the hydration in. Now, if you're not a fan of oils, I know lots of people have said to me in the comments, I just cannot use oils. I do have an alternative for you, and that is to use a leave-in conditioner on soaking wet hair that contains amidimethicone. Because according to Dr. Michelle Wong, who is Lab Muffin on YouTube, and I am very much about to paraphrase what she says, so I will link the article in the description box, but this silicone actually is able to bind itself to hair cuticles that are damaged or lifted. So it will smooth them and lock in that moisture. I really love the Redken All Soft Hydramelt for this, or the Redken Acidic Bonding Concentrate. Both of those contain amidimethicone, but they are on the creamier side. So if you do want something that's more of a lightweight spray, you could try the Pureology Hydrate. Personally, I didn't get on with that one. I don't know why, it doesn't make sense, but it is a lightweight spray. But this technique doesn't actually stop on wash day for me. I'll use a serum at night time to help rehydrate my hair after the day, and then I find wearing a silk bonnet to bed so helpful. Hydration and then reducing friction really makes a massive difference to how much softer my hair is when I wake up in the morning. Reason number 2, your hair is damaged. Damaged hair is almost always going to be on the dry side because damage causes your hair cuticles to get roughened up, lifted, broken, or even missing, which leads to your hair feeling dry, rough, straw-like, and probably pretty tangly. This one I think is pretty easy to work out because, well, let's face it, it didn't mysteriously happen overnight. We're very much responsible for damage. You know the drill. Too much heat styling, not enough heat protection, lots of colour treatments or chemical processes. But common signs of damage, if you're still not sure, are breakage, particularly if you brush your hair. I remember this used to happen to me a lot. If I was wearing a dark t-shirt and I brushed, I'd get all these little bits of hair all over my clothes. It was not a great look. V shapes at the ends of your hair, those are split ends, or sometimes you can get funny little round balls. And also if you've got short, blunt pieces of hair kind of sticking out in places, that's another sign of breakage. Generally, if those pieces are tapered, that's a sign of new growth, but if they're blunt at the ends, that's damage. And of course, like with anything, you're looking for multiple signs. So if you've just got the odd split end, you might just need a trim. But if your hair's feeling rough and dry, straw-like, difficult to manage, and you've got other characteristics as well, then I would say your dryness is caused by damage. Solutions. Okay, so first up, you have to change the behaviour. And I'm never going to sit here and say, don't heat style, because, well, where's the fun in that? But I do think that if you've been overdoing it with the heat styling tools, your Dyson, your curling tongs, whatever it might be, you may need to take a break, you might need to reduce, you might just need to get much more thorough with your heat protection, but you definitely need to change whatever you've been doing that's caused the damage in the first place. So you just need to find ways to kind of tweak your routine to minimise damage. And then my second solution, of course, would be bond repair. I think this has to be one of the most amazing innovations in hair care. And personally, I would invest in what I call true bond repair. And by that, I mean something like K18, Olaplex No3, Epres, or Redken Acidic Bonding Concentrate. I would then build those into my routine on a regular basis, prioritise bond repair, but you will find that techniques from reason 1 will also be helpful for you, such as using a mask instead of a conditioner. This kind of needs like a two-prong attack. Repair the damage and also add back in the moisture. If you are dealing with dryness caused by damage and you would like a little bit more guidance around which bond repair might be right for you, then I'll link a video above that I think you might find helpful to watch later. And if you are enjoying this video, finding it helpful, then I'd really appreciate it if you would just click the thumbs up button. And if you're not already, you can hit subscribe, hit the bell button, and you'll get notified when new videos become available. Okay, reason number 3, you have product buildup. I think this can happen really easily, especially if you've got wavy hair and you've been following methods or routines that tell you to avoid sulfates and also use multiple layers of hold products. It also could be that you live in a hard water area and you've got potentially mineral, salt or chemical buildup. Any kind of buildup that is sitting on your scalp, roots and lengths of your hair create kind of like a coating which prevents other products that you use from working really efficiently. So you may be using all the right products, they just don't have a chance at doing their job really well. To work this one out, I would say if you've suddenly noticed that your normal products and routines have stopped working, or you know that you're avoiding sulfates but you haven't built in a clarifying or detox shampoo, or if your hair has kind of overnight suddenly felt drier and frizzier, you may just have buildup. Solutions. This is kind of a nice simple one to fix. You just need a really good thorough cleanse and a scalp and root reset. You could use a gentle sulfate formula shampoo, you could get yourself a clarifying or detox shampoo. If you are dealing with hard water, chlorine, chemical, mineral buildup, then something like L'Oreal's hair detox would be a great option. Or just a couple of my favourite clarifying washes. I do absolutely love Ouai's hair detox, but these days I'm just opting for gentle sulfate-based formulas instead. Once you've done that reset, I always think it's a really good thing to then add like a deeply intensive treatment product. If you're lacking elasticity, you could use a protein product. If you know you're dealing with damage as well, then you could use bond repair. Or if it is that your hair's just been feeling really dry, I would use a really nourishing, deeply conditioning mask. And honestly, I think your hair will feel so much softer and more manageable. Reason number 4, you're styling for hold. Only hold. I think this is something that happens a lot when you've got wavy hair. You want your waves to last, so you focus on using products that add definition and hold. Things like gels, single stylers, mousses. But you've skipped leave-in conditioner. You might get beautiful lasting definition, but your hair still feels really rough and dry. Personally, I found that my wavy aging hair really struggles with moisture. I would never skip out on leave-in conditioner. Even the most lightweight spray or option will make a difference. And this is super easy to work out because you know whether or not you've been using it. Solution. And that means the solution is really nice and simple too, because all you need to do is add a leave-in product before you use any hold products. And if you're someone who really struggles with this, your hair gets super rough, dry and frizzy, then you could also use that technique from reason 1, where following a leave-in conditioner, you seal the hair cuticles with a lightweight oil. I have so many favourites, I won't sit here and list a bunch of leave-in conditioners, but if you're looking for something lightweight, you could try OGX, their Bond Repair. That comes in a continuous spray bottle, so it's a really, really fine mist. The only thing I will say is I have got caught out because it is so fine. On several occasions now, I've used way too much and I do find that I get a little bit of a texture. So just be wary if your hair is fine or thin that you actually don't end up overdoing it. My personal favourite when it comes to sprays has to be Bumble and Bumble's Inviisible Oil. It's a multitasker, it adds a beautiful amount of slip to my hair. It always just feels so soft and shiny afterwards. So that is one that I reach for all the time. But alternatively, a more budget-friendly option to that would be Revlon's Unique One, and I like the coconut fragrance. If you're someone who prefers a cream, I love Olaplex No5 Moisturiser Mend. It's creamy, but it's lightweight. It doesn't weigh down my hair. It does a fantastic job at taming frizz, adding moisture, and I love that you can also use it on dry hair and it absorbs really well, so you won't get any kind of sticky residue. Or alternatively, particularly if you're looking to add some structure back to your hair, so you want something with protein, I would go with an Australian brand called Moo Goo, their leave-in protein shot. Again, it's creamy, but it's really lightweight and it just leaves my hair feeling hydrated and soft. Reason number 5, environmental factors. These are things that of course you have less control over, but there are also definitely things that you can do to reduce the impact. I'm talking about stuff like UV exposure, cold windy days, chlorine, central heating, and even like friction from coats, scarves, or pillowcases. My hair could feel super soft and super hydrated, but one windy day spent at the beach and it is going to be a tangly, dry mess. And to be honest, it doesn't have to be a holiday or a day exposed to lots of weather to cause that kind of dryness. Even, just everyday activities, brushing, central heating, these all do have an impact on our hair. Solutions. Okay, so these are things that you can do to help reduce and protect your hair. But I live in the real world, so I don't get too hung up on environmental factors. I just try my best to protect my hair where I can. First, whenever I go swimming, whether that is in the sea or in a pool, I, at the very minimum, would wet my hair first. But ideally, I would then apply a spray over the top. And what that does is it stops your hair from acting like a sponge, so you're not going to absorb all those chemicals and salt and so on. When I'm out and about, sunny or windy days, I do usually wear some kind of hat. And that is, to be quite frank with you, also about protecting my skin from sun damage. But I do find it also really helps my hair. Firstly, if it's windy, my hair will get so tangled so quickly. So I probably would put on a hat and put my hair back into a protective hairstyle, like a loose plait or something. But a hat will also save me from burning my scalp. And if you have ever done that, you will know how incredibly painful it is. So yeah, simple solution, just wear a hat or a satin scarf. Just something to create a barrier between you and the elements. If I know I'm going on a hot holiday, then I do actually take the time to also apply a UV protective spray. I'll be honest, I'm not great at this on a day-to-day basis in the UK, and since we keep getting these heat waves, I might need to rethink that, but it is a habit that I do manage to get into while I'm away. At night, I love to use a hydrating serum, and it does kind of depend on what my hair's been through that day as to which one I reach for. But 9 times out of 10, it's Kerastase Overnight 8-hour serum, I think it's called. But if my hair has been exposed to lots of weather and is just feeling particularly dry, I really like the one from L'Oreal. It's in a purple bottle. It's like their hyaluronic cream range. It's incredible. Let me find out what the actual name is, because that wasn't very bloody helpful, was it? Oh, of course I put L'Oreal Overnight Cream. I need to add hair because what I got was face cream. Right, its actual name is L'Oreal Elvive Hydra Overnight Hydrating Cream. It's really good. It's definitely much thicker than the Kerastase serum. It is more of a creamy emollient texture, but it still will absorb throughout the night, particularly onto the ends of my hair where they get most dry. And of course, I then follow this by wearing my silk bonnet, which was very kindly gifted to me by Lily Silk. It is absolutely beautiful, and this dark midnight navy colour is so elegant, really pretty. I will link all of the products as always in the description box below, and if you've enjoyed this video, then I think you might want to watch this one next. Thanks so much for watching, have a lovely day, take care, I will see you in the next video.